What's good, everybody? What's good? This your boy JTL, aka Out from the North 18, aka Big I, back with another one. All right, so on this video, it has Lapeef with the brothers on it. Keep telling you, I'm trying to, talk about the brothers with the brothers. I did a video today or earlier today now, where or yesterday I should say, where I came on a panel with This Might Be Risky. Shout out to DJ Ham. I'm gonna share that video when I was on there speaking. So on this one, the brothers are talking about Nick Cannon and how he's moving. And I gotta say, I'm kind of surprised that some of the brothers actually think what he did made sense. But we're gonna get into that and how it does not make sense and how he's being irresponsible. But before we do that, make sure you like, share, and subscribe if this is your first time checking out the channel. Let's get it.
About Nick Cannon, real quick. You got Future that we talk about, then you got Nick. So let me be clear for those that don't know what Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon, none of his pregnancies were accidental. All of Nick's children were planned. All of Nick's children, Nick had a conversation with the mothers before he impregnated them. He didn't shoot up the club with some chick that he met, and then accidentally was a whoopsie. It wasn't what Future did. It's not what Chris Brown did. It wasn't like, God damn, can I get a DNA test? All of the children that Nick Cannon has, he talked to the mothers before he had them. They knew the situation. Nick Cannon is not on any child support whatsoever, court ordered. He has money set aside, a couple million for each child, already set. And his whole plan was the example that Darwin had put out there about a billionaire spreading his seed to expand his lineage. Nick's whole idea was, because he's on this king thing. You see him with the turban, and he's a little different. And his whole thing is, I want to create a kingdom. And in order to do that, I need to have children. And so what he did was he found the women that he decided that he liked to have children with, had a conversation with them, dated some of them he didn't. It's not that many of them. So a couple of them had a few. Two of them had two. Of course, Mariah got two. I think it's 9 kids total, 9 or 11. I get it mixed up.
Yeah,
just to be clear, for those that don't know the situation with Nick, that's why a lot of people are on the fence about Nick and don't really classify him as the Future type guy that's just out there, just rapping and hitting up clubs and getting turned up and smashing chicks in the after the concert, and it's like, fuck, man, I fucked her and she got pregnant. Oh well, I guess I gotta just send her some money. That wasn't Nick's plan. So just for those that criticize Nick Cannon, just want you guys to know that it wasn't by accident that he had these children. He had these children intentionally with these women, intentionally to do something that he wanted to do himself, that he had a plan for. And that's why not a single baby mama is complaining. Not a single one of them has anything to say bad about him. And he is not on any kind of child support. So now continue your conversation, but I wanted to make sure that you guys understand a little bit of context on Nick's plan before you guys continue.
Oh yeah. And let me give y'all some context, a little more context on who these baby mothers are. All right. So real quick, take that off and then add this for y'all to check out. All right. So let's go into his baby mothers. First one was his wife and currently ex-wife, Mariah Carey. Shout out to them for doing it right in the first place. They had twin beautiful babies. Now let's go to his next one, Brittany Bell. Sorry. What is she has Golden Sagan, born 2017, and Powerful Queen and Rise Mashard. So she has 3 kids with Nick. So I think they was definitely in a relationship. All right. So then you look, what did she do? Belle has a lot of credits up her sleeve. In addition to being a mom of 3, she's known for winning Miss Guam and competing with the Miss Universe pageant in 2014. Beautiful young lady. And a host podcast called The Mama Gang, on top of pursuing a doctorate in psychology. Let's go to the next one. Abby De La Rosa, beautiful woman. I remember her. She has twins. So that's already like, 7 kids right there? She has Zion and Zillion. And what does she do? She worked as a DJ and radio personality known for interviewing artists on Los Angeles Real 92.3. The next one, Alyssa Scott. She has, sadly, she passed away in 2021. I believe she passed after giving the childbirth or something like that. But it says here, I believe she has 2. All right. And God rest her soul, what she used to do, she was an Instagram influencer, modeling since she was a teenager, and she appeared on Nick Cannon's Wildin' Out. This is her. Then the next one, Bree Tessie. She has a child with Nick. So I think that's all 12. What she does, model, she was on Wildin' Out, and she works as a real estate agent now in Los Angeles. On Netflix reality TV show Selling Sunset, has her own YouTube channel and was featured on the reality show Wags. And okay, so that was 11. This makes 12. Lanisha Cole, beautiful sister, has 1, so I think that's 12. Lanisha is a model actress whose credits include The Price is Right, Deal or No Deal. She's also a film producer and photographer. So you guys want to know what I noticed about all these women? They're career women. And rest in peace to the one woman that passed away. She's no longer here. So y'all take that into consideration of how Nick did what he did. He went and had kids by a bunch of women that are career women. Y'all keep that in mind because I'm going to bring that up again in the next thing that I'm going to talk about for us what these guys are talking about. So, like I said, make sure y'all keep that in mind. He had babies by a bunch of career women.
I was familiar.
I got that part.
Yeah,
The only thing with that, right? So this, I could kind of agree with his point. The only that I, as far as Sweeney's concerned, is in the household, right? And the reason I say that because most of us let's say many of us, right? Especially people who do red pill, we talk about how horrible single mothers are at raising children. Now, with that logic, it makes sense. We know the numbers, right? We know how bad the metrics are when a father's not in their lives, if they're raised by a single mother. So that's why I say it's important for us to have as much contact as possible with the children. The best result is when they're raised in the same household with their father. That's undeniable at this point, right? When we look at the stats, if the father is part of the life, then they won't be a failure. Likely, they won't be a dropout. They'll probably be successful in their own relationships.
These car hacks are going to make your life way easier. If you need to increase the range of...
We know though, everybody's read those off already. So by that logic, if we're going to say that fathers are going to do a way better job as far as raising a child with or without the mother, then it would be wise for us to be in close proximity with the children. So that's the point where I kind of agree with Sweeney as far as raising them in the same household. I ain't in the business of calling nobody clown or whatever, but I think for your best result, the father should have a lot of time with the children. That's what I think. I think that you should have as many children. You can do what you want. I'm not going to tell nobody what you want. But if you were going to ask me what's the best result, then I would say the best result would be to have as many children as you can nurture.
Trevor, I agree with you, but it's a different dynamic when you have means. Finances cure a lot of problems that most have. You're able to provide her with a lifestyle where the children are kept. But the father figure, I agree. That part right there, I agree, because you would want both parents. There's a yin and a yang to everything. But if someone can provide a lifestyle where those kids are safe, taken care of, educated, providing all tangible goods and leading, you never know what direction a kid is going to go in. But the percentages are higher that your kids will be successful with the necessary things and without the financial stress. The biggest thing we say about single mothers, which makes it bad, they don't have the finances to foot the lifestyles that they need now that they have a kid. Those mostly when we speak of it in a negative fashion, those kids are made by Pookie and Ray Rays and people that didn't want to be with the baby mother. And then you can throw in all the factors that would make a child struggle. We're removing.
I agree with that, but
Okay, so real quick to Kenny P point, he's saying that if you have the money, then you can take out Trev's point of the struggling single mothers being terrible, because now the kids can be taking care of the women getting the money. But real quick, I'm not going to say what I fully want to say until a hint go off. The problem with that statement is the women that Nick had babies by are career women, and even worse than that, sadly, God rest his soul, one of his baby mothers passed away, and they had multiple kids. It's something to think about. What does it matter if majority of the mothers are busy as well as Nick, and one of them ain't even there to help raise the kids, bro?
I think that our most important attributes that we provide for our children are structure and discipline, right? Even more than means, because I've seen some people come up in poor households, right? Or whatever you want to call it, live in poverty and still be able to have a successful child because they gave them that type of discipline, right? And we can't deny the fact that if you have the means, it's going to absolutely improve your quality of life. And of course, if you have wealth behind you, you are more likely to be successful. But I think even more important, if I had to choose between the two, means or structure and discipline, I would certainly choose the structure and discipline of a father over the means.
I agree.
We creating broken households.
All right, y'all listen to the brother Hink. He about to cook, and I'm about to go in on my perspective about this Nick Cannon situation.
Well, Nick Cannon is creating broken households. And so you can't put a price tag on time. I mean, is that what we're doing? We putting a price tag on, so now he's buying love? Because that's what it sounds like.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
He's buying love. Just because he got the means he's going to buy the love of the children? No. What about spending time with your children? Waking up to your children, going to bed with your children, seeing your children off to school, seeing them take their first steps, speaking their first words, being involved in every type of way. As a man, you should be involved with your kids. I can't say that about Nick. Nick's not doing that. Now, Nick may be doing for the girl he may be living with currently, and he might be providing for them kids. But what about them other 8 or 9 kids he got? How do you think they're going to feel? Why ain't my daddy here? They're going to feel some type of jealousy and resentment. Why is my brother Tony get to spend all the time with him, but I can't? What are you going to say? You going to get on the Zoom meeting try to console him? That's not.
This is the reason why I've canceled.
That ain't going to do nothing but put a Band-Aid on it. And then guess what? He's going to go back to feeling that same way again. Because he's still over with Lil Tony. But me and Lil Mikey, we ain't getting no quality time because our dads maybe out here shooting a video or a movie or doing some more shows or whatever the case may be, doing his podcast. He got time to do everything else besides take care of his goddamn kids. Be there for his kids. Not just in the financial aspect, but in the physical aspect, in the emotional aspect. Kids need that. I mean, I look, I don't get it, man. There's no way I would turn my back on my children. And that's what he's doing when he's doing this. He's turning his back on his children. Because if you're not there, you're turning your back on your kids. Just because I can afford to take care of them don't mean anything to a child. Again, like you said, you can't put a price on when your father's there, your mother's there. We talk about broken homes, how it feels to be man without their father in their life. So imagine the same thing for these kids. And this man got all the means y'all talking about, got all the bread in the world, but he not there. Nah.
What's an adequate amount of time for him?
And see, that's why I salute to the brother Hink, because that's some real shit. That's where it hurts. Is the time. It don't matter when you put money in, especially if, say, a woman like Nick got money set aside. And this is another thing I gotta add on to that. Nick's main reason for doing that is because he has lupus, and he's afraid that, God forbid, sometime soon he may pass away. So he wants to have kids, to do his lineage. And I forget who he said, I think the billionaire Darwin or something like that, he's looking at that and he wants to spread it around. Then we talk about guys not having time. We already know high value men don't have time. I mean, unless a woman gets with a guy around the time he's retiring or slowing down, he already set for life. So, like I spoke, the women that Nick Cannon had children from are all or were career women. Unfortunately, one of his children's mother passed away, God rest her soul. But the rest of them, they still all career women. They're doing different types of things. So how much time do they really have to give to the children? So not only do you have a absent father, now you got partially absent mothers. Nick Cannon's not doing a good thing. He's been an irresponsible trick because he's leading with money. Now, saying with wearing a turban and he's trying to move like a king, he's not. He's moving like a imposter, because the smartest thing that you see with kings building kingdoms, what do? They build on their kingdom. So if Nick was to have, which would make sense, if he would have had a compound with all of the women living there, taking care of the kids, that's where he goes to lay his head at mainly, so he can see his kids in the morning. He can see his kids off when they go to sleep, read them bedtime stories, being around all of the kids at one time. We having Sunday dinner, all the kids. It's easier because they all in one space. All the mothers got their own little private space with the kids, but they all come together for Sunday dinner. They all come together for birthdays. They all come together for graduations. They all come together for events. They all come together for family time. He got them all spread across the country. That ain't intelligent. And using the excuse as, oh, well, you know, men with money, regardless, they ain't got time like that anyway. So no, it does matter. Because if you're trying to build a legacy, even if those high value men don't have time, but they got all their kids under one roof, that makes way more of a difference than them spread it across the country. He's not married to the mother. He got a bunch of baby mothers, bunch of kids all over the place, and he damn sure ain't got time for them like that, because he can't go to every place. Versus the high value man who working 80 hours a week but still come home at night. They're still there on the weekend. They still have some kind of time to spend with the kids. They right there. They can bring them to the job. They right there. So shout out to Hink, because he went in. We this time matters, because me personally, not going too deep in it, but I've had that issue where you have, like they saying the mamas ain't mad. What if the mamas blow their bag? What if they mess up their career? Then they try to become stay-at-home moms, but then they mad because they ain't got no man around. Then say if they get a man, then the man they want the man to play stepdaddy because Nick never there. Now you got an issue. Now this kid or your kids is calling this dude daddy now because they ain't on the compound to show that that's what it is. I'm just gonna give you this money. I just want my kid to make sure he got a last name. But now some other man gonna come in there and raise it because you ain't got these women under. These ain't your concubines or your 7, 8 wives. These are not the things that people are thinking about. We just think about the money aspect. But with the situation I went through, where beefing with the baby mama, and then she not being honest about it, she definitely not gonna be honest about it, and me trying not to badmouth her, even though she'll do it to me, and then my son ended up thinking I wasn't trying to be there to spend time, which was a fucking barefaced lie. And I see this happen with men all the time that fight to be with their kids and be in their kids' lives. So if you got an idiot going around doing whatever the fuck he want to do and think that's gonna work because you throw money at it, we know the main thing we miss in our lives, especially as young black men, is fathers. It don't mean shit for the money when they get older and the kids be all fucked up. We see with child styles all the time and rich kids all the time where they be fucked up and on drugs, alcohol abuse, running ways and going through stuff and stuff happening to them. This is not the way it's intended for us to survive. And you got to understand something. A lot of these kids that didn't say nothing, these legacies, and were scared to, they tell you their real story. It ain't everything peaches and cream that you think it is. So for my brothers out there, learn from this and realize if you're going to have a seed, that means the legacy, the lineage that you're trying to lead by is more than just your dollars. It's your DNA. It's who you was as a man, who you was as a father that matters the most, your character. I respect the Most High, so that's my main thing. So if that's yours, and along with that, the principles that the Most High gives us, and what's written down, that's what we go after. So shout out to Hink for that. Real shit. This your boy JTL, aka Out from the Norm. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe if this your first time checking me out. You know what I mean? Fatherhood is a motherfucker, but we need it. Peace.